Hello, Libra. Welcome to your reading for the month of March 2022. This reading is intended for Libra Sun and Libra Rising. Libra Moons may also find messages here, so you may want to watch as well. Cross watchers are always welcome. If you haven't watched the collective reading, I recommend you do that. I go deeper into the energy of the collective card of the Hermit in that video. So this video zeroes in on how that energy is meant to show up and be focused on specifically for you, Libra. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on this video. It lets YouTube know that you think my content is valuable and that you want to see more of it. So without further ado, let's jump into your reading. So before I pull your focus card, we're going to take a look at some astro dice, and they're going to give us a little bit of information about what house, what planet, what sign might be of particular emphasis for you this month. So let's shuffle, shake them up. Okay, so we have Uranus, the fourth house, and Scorpio. And if I'm remembering correctly, there is another video that got this exact combination, and I'm freaking out a little bit. Or it was definitely fourth house in Scorpio, but anyway, we're gonna move on past that. So your fourth house of home and family might be something that is particularly standing out this month. And then Uranus is the planet of, unexpected sudden events. Uranus has been squaring Saturn for a while, and that has been, causing some really funky, energy in the universe for all of us in the collective. But, you look to where your natal Uranus is, and then also what transiting Uranus is doing, what transits it's making to your planets, like what house it's transiting. Also with Scorpio, you might be really diving deep into some old trauma, especially with the fourth house here, or doing some inner child healing, because when we think about the fourth house, if we think back to our childhood, it's the house of our roots, right? Where we come from. And then, in the present day, if you're a grown up and you have your own home and family, it could be some, difficulties that you're dealing with in your present day home life, some sudden event possibly that might have caused a shakeup in your family. Very, very possible. But definitely look at where Scorpio is, and what planets maybe that you have natally in Scorpio, what planets are in your fourth house, what transits Uranus is making to your natal planets. That's what I love about using these dice in this reading, because this is a general reading, and our birth charts are as unique as our fingerprints. You watching this video, your fourth house, your Uranus, where Scorpio is, there are very subtle differences. It's not going to look like any other Libra on the planet. So, the ways that these dice can apply to this reading, is really personal to you. So, if you don't have a copy of your birth chart, you can go down, and it's linked below in the description. I have a link where you can go and pull up your birth chart. I use whole sign houses. Feel free to use whatever house system works for you. But if we're putting this together, in the space of divination, you might be, with this Hermit energy for the month of March. The Hermit deals with introspection and reflection. You might be going over some of these fourth house topics from, your roots as a child, or, as a young adult, from, 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, depending on how old you are, and what impacts that's made on you, but really going deep, because Scorpio is, fixed water, and Scorpios don't mind, going deep into, those waters and dealing with uncomfortable emotions and really looking at those traumas. And it could have been things that happen really subtly. Suddenly, sudden losses or sudden traumatic things that really rocked you to your core. And, what traumatizes me may not traumatize the next person. It's not up to anybody else to define what was traumatic for you. But this hermit time, is a period where you have the time to really sit with and, kind of peek through all of these situations, some that might be small, little T traumas, or like big T, life-shattering traumas, but just seeing how they affect you. And then as well, with Uranus, I really think, this is a futuristic, forward-thinking planet. If you're thinking along the lines of healing, that there might be some, alternative kind of healing methods that you may look into, things that are innovative. Microdosing is something that comes to mind. I'm not saying that, anybody should take any medical advice from me. Obviously, I'm not a doctor, but that's just something that kind of, this brings up for me. Uranus is a very quirky planet. It does things in, non-conventional ways. So maybe looking at non-conventional ways of healing trauma or, around difficult subjects, things that have happened in the past or around your family. So we're going to move that to the side, and let's go ahead and, sorry, it's kind of reflecting off the cards a lot. Let's go ahead and pull your focus card. And I'm doing focus cards a little bit differently now. Like as we go along, I learn a little bit more, but I'm always going to read them in the upright. So even if it comes out of this deck in the reverse, I'm going to read it as I would, a collective card that is specifically for you, Libra. So we'll see what comes out. That's Libra's focus card for March 2022. One card for Libra. Okay, all right, you got the moon. Okay, and that is so aligned with us ringing in March in Pisces season, because the moon card rules Pisces. I mean, Pisces, I always wonder if I'm saying that right. Just let's blow past that. Okay, Pisces, the moon corresponds with Pisces in the major arcana. So these are two opposite energies that you're working with. This card, the Hermit, is ruled by Virgo. Virgo is a sign that's ruled by Mercury. So, Virgos are very practical and methodical. It's earth energy. Pisces is water. It's ruled by Neptune. Its traditional ruler is Jupiter. So very expansive. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, but it's very foggy, which makes sense, in how we read the moon card, because it's very mysterious. There are a lot of things that we don't understand. And one of the lessons of this card, the medicine of this card, is being able to sit with the unknown. It also speaks to receiving lots of intuitive messages. And remember how I said something about not being afraid to go deep? Look how relaxed she is, just sinking into this deep water of the subconscious. Even though this card is Pisces, Scorpio is Pisces' sister sign, and Scorpio does not shy away from going deep, and this is a card, where those thoughts can be really scary or disturbing, or you can have disturbing dreams. But, with this Hermit energy, and actually in the tarot, when you reduce card 18 down, it reduces down to a 9, and the Hermit is 9. These are actually a pair. So that is very aligned for you, Libra. But where was I going with that? But in the moon, yeah, it's like you really could be dealing with some weird shit coming up, to be healed in your subconscious, or, dealing with things that might have been very frightening for you with this fourth house energy as a child. But, there's duality in everything, with these two wolves howling at the moon. There's light and there's, shadow. So it's like really understanding, things from multiple perspectives, and understanding yourself, and maybe, understanding that, if you were a child and you experienced something traumatic, that, you know, and you repressed it, that you were doing the best that you could at the time with the information that you had, or, you know, to live through the experience. Like, you know, we tried to survive. That is the first instinct, is something that's coming up for me. But just allowing, like, yourself to surrender into this, you know, to your subconscious, to allow things to come up to be healed. And I want to definitely give you a caveat, Libra. Do this in a place where you feel safe and supported. Don't try to go it alone. You know, the 4th house also speaks to, you know, the most private part of our chart. It's opposite the 10th house, which is, you know, the highest point where, you know, our reputation, what we're known for. The 4th house, you know, is intimate. It's only what we let people see who are really close to us, who we feel like deserve to see those innermost parts of ourselves. So make sure that if you're sharing any of this with someone, that they're safe people, because you deserve, you know, to be safe and supported. You deserve to be affirmed for whatever it is that you've experienced and come through. You don't deserve to have anybody make you feel any sense of shame for, you know, how you might have acted or reacted in those moments. That's a big red flag. And that's something that I'm hearing from my guides, is just to give that clarity and that advice to you, to make sure that you're in a supportive environment if you're doing subconscious work. So what we're going to do next is we're going to pull an oracle card to bridge these two energies together and allow Spirit to give us a little more guidance on how these two energies are supposed to work together for you, Libra, or how you're supposed to work with these energies. So what? That's too many. What frequency is Libra working with for the month of March? I'm sorry, this is the one. Okay, so you are working with the solar plexus chakra, okay, and this is card 3, which corresponds, you know, if we're relating it to the major arcana, to the Empress. So it says the frequency of the solar plexus chakra, the yellow flower of life, supports our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, as well as our knowing of who we are and what our contribution is to the whole. Okay, so some of this this subconscious work really is, you know, a way to understand yourself and, you know, support a healthy sense of self. Like I was saying, I really was getting the sense like that there might be some feelings of shame, you know, around things that might have happened in your past, where you felt disempowered or robbed of your power, but you really were in a place where, you know, there were people who had power over you. You didn't have the capacity to say no, if that makes sense. So this really is, you know, affirming for you that, you know, your solar plexus is really trying to, you know, get you to a place where you're more balanced and you feel a sense of personal freedom of, you know, knowing who you are and, you know, not feeling afraid, because sometimes when our solar plexus is out of balance, you know, we can kind of wander aimlessly, you know, which also speaks to the moon, Pisces energy. I love Pisces. Pisces are wonderful. My son is a Pisces, you know, but, you know, one of the things that people talk about is like, you know, Pisces are all vibes, you know, like, you know, they kind of just do their thing, and that's very Neptunian, is, you know, just to go with the flow. And what it is like, now you're asking the questions, you know, who am I? Where do I fit? You know, how can I expand into receiving, you know, because if we're thinking about the correspondence of the number 3 with, the the Empress card, you know, that's Venus energy. You know, it's really wanting to feel grounded and rooted, you know, and open to receive from the universe and expand, you know, kind of done feeling small, where people have made you feel powerless or robbed you, you know, of your power when you were not in a place to say yes or no. So that's really powerful for you, Libra. And for anybody who's experienced, you know, super traumatic things, I just want to say, you know, I see you and I feel you, and I'm holding space for you because, you know, I'm also a trauma survivor. I have complex PTSD, and I know how difficult, I'm sorry if I sound like I am getting teary because I can really feel that pain. You know, how painful it can be to carry those heavy feelings for a long time. And even if it's just on a subconscious level, you know, feeling like, where is this coming from? You know, I feel that coming from, you know, someone or some of you in the collective. And I just want to say, you know, I'm so sorry. And I see you and understand how you feel. Like, I mean, I understand exactly what you went through, but I understand and I'm with you. So yeah, but let's pull some chakra cards and see what other messages, what other themes there might be for you for the month of March, Libra. Let's see, can I get two cards for Libra? Okay. Come up together. Okay, I really don't want to come out, but please, Spirit, 2 cards for Libra. 2 chakra cards for Libra. What themes for this month? Okay, here we go. All right. Again, you're the third sign in a row. Leo, Virgo, and now you are getting this sexual energy card. So I'm like, I don't want to trigger anybody, but really some healing around your sacred sexuality, especially if you've had any sexual trauma. And actually, I literally just got an oracle deck because I'm planning a pick a card about how to reclaim your sacred sexuality. So be looking for that to come out in the next month or so, because I've really been feeling called to do that. But this sexual energy card for me feels like, you know, the solar plexus and the sacral chakra, which is orange, they're right next to each other. The sacral is below the solar plexus in your pelvic area. That it's almost like, you know, you could have with this moon card, like phantom pains in your pelvis, or, you know, there could have been some kind of loss around, you know, your sexual energy. Like, you know, some of you I'm hearing, you know, and no, absolutely no judgment, you know, possible abortion. It doesn't matter if we choose to end a pregnancy or it ends on its own. The trauma is the same. Like, it can still be very traumatic. Or a miscarriage, you know, anything around, you know, creation and sexual energy where, you know, it's like almost a loss of control that you didn't have. There's some real healing that needs to be done around that, that's causing, you know, an imbalance where it feels like, you know, you were robbed of something that, you know, felt like a piece of you, like it chipped away at your sense of self. You know, it's like almost a, you know, a chapter in a book, like, you know, or a chapter in your life, like before and after. Like there's such a significant difference, like, you know, completely different, like thinking about your life before it happened and after it happened, like completely different realities. So that's what I'm getting from this sexual energy card. You know, and that could have to do with, you know, sexual abuse, sexual assault. And, you know, if that that includes you, I'm so sorry. And if that doesn't include you, it's just really getting in touch with, you know, your sacred sexuality in whatever way that you know, feels right to you. So I apologize that this is such a heavy reading, Libra, but I have to work with what's in the cards, what Spirit gives me. And then again, here we go, more like sacral solar plexus energy, relationships. So, you know, this could really deal with any kind of relationship. It could deal with, you know, family relationships. It could be romantic relationships. It could be friendships, you know, but any sense of loss, you know, because I'm really getting, I'm hearing trust, you know, like broken trust. You know, there really is a theme around that for you this month, and, you know, really some soul searching and healing around knowing who is okay, you know, to be in your orbit, who's safe for you, and, you know, where can you seek safety, you know, because it feels like, you know, some of those things might have turned you off to relationships in general. It's like, you know, wanting to hide in your fourth house, you know, in that nadir where it's private. It's, you know, you've created a sense of safety in your own home, and, you know, that hermit energy might be a little bit more isolating for you. But the solar plexus chakra is really saying that Spirit wants you to have a feeling of personal freedom and to take back your power. So, you know, that's not the life that your higher self or your guides want for you. They don't want you to feel isolated. They want you to be able to connect with the world, you know, and shine as the beautiful person that you are, Libra. So, especially being such a relational sign. Okay, so this is where you are at the start of the month. We got the Emperor in reverse. So to me, this feels like, you know, because any 4 in the tarot is about rooting and grounding. And this feels very untethered to me, you know, in the reverse. It's like I'm grasping for something, you know, like in this moon energy, I'm floating, you know, and kind of allowing myself to surrender, but it's like I need some level of tethering. I need something to grasp onto, to hold onto, you know, and that just feels, you know, almost like a desperate cry for help, you know, or just really needing to ask someone, you know, to be there for you, to show up for you. But I'm going to pull a clarifier too. Like, why is the Emperor showing up in the reverse for Libra? Okay, and we got the Page of Cups. Yeah, it's like, because you're really doing some emotional work. Like, the Page of Cups, no, this is the Knight of Cups. I'm sorry. The Suns are the Knights in the Wild Unknown Tarot. So this is mutable water. So this, again, Pisces energy. It's like, you know, you're moving, you know, you're learning to express these energies because, wait, no, I'm sorry. This is air and water. So yes, that is Pisces. I'm sorry. Because it's mutable water. It's like you're learning how to move through the world and communicate, you know, from your heart space, and communicate some of these really deep subjects. But sometimes it might feel, you know, less like surrender and more like you're drowning, and you're looking for some solid footing, you know, to put yourself, you know, back on earth, you know. And, you know, so in the beginning of the month, there might be that feeling because all of this stuff, you know, in Pisces season is coming up for you. And, you know, with this Hermit energy, you're reflecting on it. You're really thinking about it. You're doing internal work, and it's hard and it's scary and uncomfortable, and you need support. So, you know, that grounding could be, you know, really needing to call in someone safe. Again, with this 4, 4s are stable, you know, so somebody who's solid, and maybe needing to seek out somebody who is, you know, like your rock. So that to me, let's see. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I didn't even get shuffling and they just flew out. So this is your challenge, challenge that may arise for the month. King of Pentacles. This is the ultimate card of someone who is grounded. The King of Pentacles has been through all of the lessons of the Pentacles, and Pentacles are earth, you know, they are rooted. And this is the most grounded of all of, you know, the court cards of the Pentacles. He contains all of the knowledge and wisdom from each of, you know, the minors and from the page to the queen. He has a social responsibility to share his wisdom, like the hermit, and to be a support, you know, because by the time you've reached the king, the kingdom, you have, you know, a land, you know, if we're looking in actual royal terms, like you have subjects that you have a responsibility to, right? So it's like the challenge is trying to find this person, and you have the Eight of Swords here, where it's like you cannot see where to go, where to find this person. You feel trapped and bound, you know, but any eight is, you know, asking for a transition. And it also speaks to looking, you know, for a door, you know, if I can use the expression from my teacher, Lindsay Mack, where there's an open window, like you're trying to bust open a locked door. It just might be that with this Uranus dice here, that you need to look in some unconventional places for this King of Pentacles type energy. And again, you know, that might be getting out there into, you know, onto the internet and looking up alternative ways of healing, you know, and that could be Reiki, that, you know, if you don't vibe with traditional therapy, it could be acupuncture, or any other kind of alternate therapy that could really help you to get grounded, you know, but seeking someone who is very wise, you know, just looking at the gray hair, like this hermit, and he has a beard. It's almost like, you know, this hermit guy, you know, got some style and found like an office, you know, where he's kicking back and he's just like a really cool therapist, you know, but here we have some repeating themes here. This wolf, just like the wolves in the moon card, you know, but learning, you know, if I'm thinking about, you know, like howling at the moon, like learning to howl, to use your voice to really speak and project, you know, and talk about your traumas as well. You know, we have the Eight of Swords. Swords are, you know, about communication, and eights in numerology are ruled by Saturn. These are difficult topics for you to talk about. You need somebody who's very grounded and safe to be able to feel comfortable doing that. So that is your challenge for this month, is really just, you know, being open to alternatives, you know, and avenues that aren't so obvious, Libra. Okay, so we're going to look at how to tackle this challenge of seeking out someone who could really help you and help you out of feeling, you know, trapped in your thoughts too, you know, because that's something that I can see with this moon, Eight of Swords energy. Okay, so how can Libra tackle this challenge? Finding that's too many. Oh, that's too many as well. Just got a ton of cards jumping out. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Okay, one card for Libra. How can they tackle this challenge? Okay, there we go. All right, Eight of Wands. And okay, this placement is like how to tackle a challenge and take decisive action. The Eight of Wands is all about directing your wands and hitting your mark. It's fast movement. It's fast communication. It literally, with Uranus sitting here, and look, it's another 8 with Saturn. It may not be easy, but with Uranus here, Uranus rules the internet. It literally could be like getting on the internet and chatting with someone, or calling a helpline, you know, any kind of communication that's very direct, very quick, because if you're in a crisis, right, you don't have time to wait if you get to that point. You know, so this really could speak to that, needing to not stay in this area where you're feeling trapped, like, I don't know what to do, I don't know what to do. And the Eight of Wands is saying be proactive, you know, and just do something, seek someone out. Here we go, clarified by the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, this is water and fire, like in touch with her emotions, also lit up with passion. She will take action that is protective. Look at her eggs, you know, that she's protecting. Snakes are a sign of transformation. Eights are cards of transition as well. But this is you being self-protective, because I see you as being the snake and the egg, but wanting to, you know, snakes shed their skin periodically, wanting to shed old, you know, wounds and old baggage. Not that it won't be with you, it's never that simple, but, you know, trying to grow into a new you, you know, a fresher feeling skin. And look at all of this with these orange and yellows, like growing into your personal freedom, you know, but also being self-protective. So yeah, that's very aligned with this Eight of Wands energy. So really, you know, not giving, you know, and this, the Queen of Wands is Aries energy. We're about to move into Aries season. You have the Emperor here as well, which is represented by Aries. Aries are trailblazers. It's your opposite sign, Libra. It's ruled by Mars. Mars is the planet of action. You know, and you can really, you know, because the, you know, opposite signs really are not that different. You can reach into your opposite sign to your 7th house and channel that energy. If you know somebody, if you have a friend that you know, because our first house, you know, Libra is your first house, Aries is your 7th house of others, Libra is the first house of self. Channel what you see in other people, like in your one-to-one relationships where you see people who are fiery, who aren't afraid to ask for what they want and go for it. Go out there with that conviction, you know, and if you have to fake it until you make it, but get your needs met is what I'm hearing. Okay, so where may you be by the end of the month, Libra? Okay. Queen of Cups. Okay, look, another cardinal sign, Cancer. Okay, so much more in your emotional flow, which is beautiful. You have all 3 water signs represented in your reading. You know, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, but Cancer is related, corresponds with the 4th house, but you see how she has her hands up in surrender. She has the singing bowl, which really speaks to being aligned with a frequency, you know, that is harmonious. And that might be getting your solar plexus into alignment where you feel that sense of personal freedom. A crown of water, so you're very in tune with your emotions. So to me, this really speaks to, you know, digesting this medicine and coming out on the other side, not healed completely, because that would be unrealistic, right? Nothing can be solved in the course of a month that, you know, is this complex, but it's like almost being in a stance of, you know, surrender and gratitude for what you have, you know, done for yourself, because here you are in the upright, you know, water of water, Cancer, really embracing your emotional nature, you know, where in the beginning of the month you were feeling very untethered. It's like, you know, Cancer is cardinal water, your cardinal air. You're able to really, you know, cardinals are the initiators. You're able to initiate the action towards healing these deep emotional wounds, whatever they are. So that is very, very wonderful for you. And let me just pull a clarifier just to give us some more information about the Queen of Cups, and then we'll move into your oracle cards. Okay, and we got the Hanged Man. So Hangman energy is really great, especially for this this spread, because the Hangman is in a state of surrender, and it feels like a sacrifice, but it's a sacrifice towards enlightenment, right? In the traditional Smith Rider-Waite, he has a crown, you know, almost that looks like the sun, you know, around his head, the figure in the card, you know, which is like illumination and a new perspective. So it's like, you know, you have a newfound perspective and wisdom, you know, coming from this Hermit card, you know, about your feelings, whereas before you could possibly have felt some sexual shame or some self-blaming around relationships. It's like you're coming to understand in new ways, you know, the ways that you are or are not responsible, you know, to carry certain things, you know, that were not your fault, is what I'm seeing. So let me go ahead and we're going to pull some more oracle cards for you, Libra. So this is a really deep month, and if you haven't watched the collective reading, I feel like it will particularly resonate for your sign. So definitely watch it, because you know, it's some challenging energy, but it's worth it to watch it. And look at that, begin again. Just like I said, with this snake, shedding skin, but also being protective. It's like a new start for you with this Queen of Cups, and a new understanding, a new perspective with this Hangman, but a perspective that is much more rooted in self-love and self-forgiveness, self-understanding, and personal empowerment. Let's grab one more. That is way too many. Let's try this again. I really feel like this is your card. So you know what? I'm not going to shuffle again. Look to nature for healing. And okay, like I was saying before, this really does have that Uranus kind of feel, where I said alternative therapies, you know, naturopathic things might be something that you want to look into. Obviously, consult a physician or a therapist, or, you know, any kind of professional. Don't just take what I say at face value. I am a tarot reader. I'm not a doctor. But look for other ways that you can incorporate nature into your healing process. Okay. All right. And the next cards that we're going to pull are some really good cards for reframing certain thoughts and statements that we say to ourselves. And I think this will be particularly important for you this month, Libra. Okay, centering. Okay, so this card is align. So it deals with alignment. Trigger statement: I feel conflicted. True statement: I am true to my highest self. Right? With this solar plexus chakra, supports our sense of self, our personal power, our willpower, knowing who we are. So your focus needs to turn within to reflect on stories that are not true for you. Love is the way through, and love, self-love is what I'm feeling. Okay. So that's really what I was feeling, was that you know, at a young age, or, you know, before you had the capacity to question, were really indoctrinated with these messages, you know, about you that you really took on, you know, and it's like you're trying to discern what is your personal truth now. So was really feeling that at the beginning of the reading. So yes, centering, so important. Just like I talked about with this Emperor in reverse, needing to be grounded, needing to find someone rooted. Yes, okay. So let's see what else we have for Libra. Okay. All right, we got two more for you. Let's see what they are. Transmutation. Okay. I told you, 8s are cards of transformation and transition. Trigger statement: I don't know who I am. Again, our sense of self, our personal power, knowing who we are. This is so crazy. Okay, trigger statement. I don't know who I am. True statement. I am. There is no efforting required for this shift. Be present and allow every aspect of your being to transform. Okay, DNA repairing. It's like almost at a cellular level. You are, integrating these new lessons of who you are, shedding old skin. It's like, the new skin you're wearing is almost like, brand new DNA. So let's go ahead and put that there. And then here we go, amplify, magnolia, trigger statement. I can't get anything right. True statement. I am in divine time. So yeah, maybe this Eight of Swords is like, I can't do anything right. Some of those thought traps that make you feel like, you're a failure or you failed, or repeating messages that, others have said to you in relationships, that have made you feel, shitty and less than. So, I am in divine time. Harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle unfolds after another. So really that speaks to, this Aries Cancer energy, seeking out this King of Pentacles, and this Eight of Wands really could be that, seeking divine timing. And that means like, don't sleep on it when you get that feeling, because Wands really do have to do with that, life force energy feeling. Like you'll feel when it's time to make a move. But, harness your loving energy and watch as one miracle unfolds after another. So what a transformation and how much enlightenment, like in a difference you'll see in yourself and how you feel. Okay, so get those, and then couple more oracle cards for you. Okay, one more oracle for Libra. Okay, we got two. Okay, card 36. Which also reduces down to a 9, the Hermit. Okay, Witch. The magic you seek is inside of you. Let it flow. Okay? Let it flow. And then we also got here, Epoch. Pause in your journey. So, might need a little bit of patience with yourself. And that's okay. We all need to take a pause, especially dealing with things that are, so heavy, that there may, it's okay to tell yourself, like, I need to take a break from this. This feels like a lot right now. No shame or in your game by saying that to yourself. So the last 3 cards that we're going to pull, are some self-care ideas for the month, that your guides would like you to consider doing. And the first one we got is list. And look, this list even says why I'm awesome. You might want to make different kinds of lists. 1, why I'm awesome, but 2, like compiling lists of different ways, of alternate healing, different things that you might want to try, any kind of list, compiling data. So, list making might be particularly important for you this month. Let's see. What else do we have for Libra? That one hopped. Beauty. Okay, so that might really be getting in touch, doing something that makes you feel beautiful. If you wear makeup, but you haven't put on makeup in a while, if you haven't, gotten dressed up in a while, or, just doing some basic self-care, that has felt like a chore, really maybe try to do a little bit more of that, because sometimes when you look good, you feel good, and it's not all about, what we do for the gram or, how other people think we look. It's about how you feel about yourself. But that might be something that you feel like doing this month. And you're a Libra, Libras are naturally beautiful. We're all beautiful in our own ways, but Libras love luxury and beauty. So that might be something that you need to get back in touch with. Let's see. see what else we have for you, Libra. What other self-care can you do? Okay, stargaze. Okay, so maybe you want to get outside, and here we have another moon. You have the moon card. Get outside, look at the stars, maybe commune with your guides while you're looking at the stars. You know, there's a moon in this witch card as well. So, you know, so many ways that the cosmos is reaching out to you for healing as well, that the universe has your back. There's a star in the Hermit's beacon. But yeah, get in touch with the universe, and in touch with the sense of wonder, you know, especially dealing with heavy realities. Sometimes we need to, you know, give ourselves some spaciousness and, you know, some time away from that to get back to feeling, you know, just the vastness of the universe, you know. And it really is quite beautiful to see the stars lit up if you can. If you can't, you know, maybe with this Uranus dice here, you know, there are some videos on the internet that you can really get in touch with the cosmos. There are different ways to stargaze. Not all of us, you know, maybe you live in the city and it's hard to see the stars, but, you know, whatever ways that you can kind of get that cosmic connection will be a tool for self-care for you in the month of March. So that is all I'm seeing for you, Libra. And I know that this month may, you know, it seems like from this reading, it's not going to be the easiest, but I really feel like it's worthwhile to do this work because you're worth it. You're worth everything. And, you know, that is where most of the value that we should really place on, you know, healing is in ourselves, because, you know, when we heal ourselves, it ripples outward and gives others permission to do the same. And you don't know who else you're healing just, you know, by being in their presence and, you know, being in the healing process yourself, because it really is like a community effort, you know, and how healing it could be for your family, whether they realize it or not, or, you know, the people that are closest to you with this fourth house energy. So, you know, I really hope that this message resonated for you. Make sure to leave me a comment letting me know if it did or not. And I would really love, you know, if we could make this a real community. And, you know, sometimes you guys can leave comments for each other and kind of make this a family where we're really boosting and lifting each other up. But I want to thank you for your time and your presence and your energy, because that's truly where the magic happens. So thank you to all the collective guides and angels for these wonderful messages. And don't forget to like, to subscribe, and share this channel with folks who can benefit from the messages. And while you're at it, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my future videos. But stay safe and be extra gentle with yourselves, Libra, okay? And I will see you again next month. Bye.